Jai Srimanarayana, Jai Hanuman, everyone. Welcome to the session of Arishadvargas. We are gaining some knowledge about, these Arishadvargas, and we have learned that what an Arishadvarga means. Ari means in Sanskrit enemy, and Shat means six. So we are learning about the six enemies, the inner enemies, which, a human possess, which are the obstacles for us to lead our day-to-day lives, happily, or which are the obstacles for if anyone, anybody, if they want to go into self-realization or higher purpose of the soul, these six enemies are the obstacles for in that path. So in the last session, we have learned about the desire or the karma, and they come in different ways. The desires may be physical, emotional, intellectual, ego-based or materialistic, anything. The desires could be in any form. So once these desires are blocked in any level or any degree, another Arishadvarga comes into picture that is called the anger or the krodham. So this, I think, is the most visible form of Arishadvarga, which we can see, when somebody gets angry, we can see, we can feel the anger, we can feel their words, everything. So this is one of the, visible Arishadvargas, which actually I think has the most effect even on our bodies too. So we are going to see how, how this affects us and how can we control our anger. So like if we observe, in general, everybody gets angry in in any of the situations in our life. So maybe this class is for someone who wants to look back and see why we are getting angry. If somebody doesn't want to look back and see why they are getting angry, or it doesn't really bother them why they are getting angry, if it really doesn't bother them if they are hurting anybody or hurting themselves, maybe this knowledge is not for those. But if any of us, if we are interested, in leading a happy life, leading a happy life with our family, or, if we want to go into the higher soul purpose, then this is something for all of us which we should look into. So each of us, like almost all of us, I'm not going to say each of us, some may have control over their anger, or some people do not get angry at all. So maybe they have done the sadhana in their past life or something, but this is for people who get angry. I just want them to, look back and see, if you are the person who is getting angry, then after this session, maybe when you go to bed, just sit there and think of the last time you got anger, and just look into that situation. What triggered the anger? Was there any attachment involved in that anger? What is the attachment and what is the expectation from that attachment? If we can look into these, usually when do we get angry? When, something what we want, when we do not get that, or something is blocked, we get anger. So why are we getting angry in that situation? That means we are expecting something from that desire. So when that expectation is not reached, when we are having an attachment to that desire, when that expectation is not reached, our senses are reacting by becoming anger. So each of us, if we can, go back and take the examples, like think back about the situations where we got angry, if we can look back and think what was that something which I wanted? What happens if I did not get that? Why did I get so much angry in that situation? So if we can look back and think, maybe, if we can understand the triggering points, why we are getting angry, maybe over the period of time, there may be a chance, like, that when we get angry, we may control our emotions. Okay, this may not be important, or contentment in that desire. When you can reach the contentment with whatever you get, if you are happy, maybe we will not get angry. So this may not be possible in each and every situation. Some situations, we get aggravated. So if we can look back and see why we are getting aggravated, what is the situation that took me to this aggravation? Is there something lacking from the other side or from our side? What is that lacking? If we can, if we can look back into these situations and keep working on it, if we are, if like, if suppose I am a person who gets angry very easily, this is a way to think about. And I have learned, even if you look back and introspect, sometimes it is not possible to get control over the anger. So what is that we are missing, that we are not able to get control over anger? The basic lack of knowledge. Ignorance is the key for anger. When you understand the purpose of this human body, why we are here, and there is a soul inside the human body, it's just not the body. When there is a soul inside the body, there is some knowledge that is related to that soul, and there is something to be known about this body. So in the first session, we have learned how the Bhagwan, when he creates this entire universe, how all these, the Akshara Tattvam means the souls, or the tamas, the intellect, the buddhi, Mahat Tattvam, the, Mula Prakriti, the materialistic world, which has the Trigunas, the Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. From the Sattva comes the mind and the Indriyas, and from the Tamas comes the Panchabhutalu, from which the body is made. So when we get to know, like, there is something beyond this, what we are living, there is something beyond. We got these senses, whether it is, the motor organs or the sense organs or the mind or the intellect, there is a purpose for all this. Body, the God has given us, a body for this soul to live in, and even the Paramatma lives within us, and he has given us something called, the body, which is made of Panchabhutalu. There are Indriyas, there are Karmendriyas, Jnanendriyas, and there is mind, and there is something called intellect. So what is happening? Why we are not able to control these Indriyas, or not able to control these emotions which are created by Indriyas? What is the reason behind that? Because we are plagued with the previous samskaras, previous ruchi, vasanas, previous karmas. So how can we get rid of this, all these previous karmas or ruchi, vasana, so that our manas becomes cleaned? Our manas is plagued with all this. So all this dirt, it's not letting our indriyas to think properly. That is the reason behind all these negative emotions. So how do we, get rid of these ruchi, vasana, or the samskaras, or the karmas? Is there any way we can, do this, or is there any sadhana that we can practice? Yes, there are sadhanas which we can practice. The most famous is, what he talks in Bhagavad Gita is the do the nishkama karma. In Karma Yogam, he calls he talks about this nishkama karma. So, what is this nishkama karma? And when he talks about yogam, karma yogam, what does it mean? When you do a certain work with the knowledge of it, don't do the work with ignorance. Have the knowledge of what you're doing and then do the job. That itself is called the yogam. And when we do some karma with this kind of knowledge, then that becomes the karma yogam. So he talks about nishkama karma. So how does this nishkama karma help us in getting rid of these attachments or these emotions? So what he talks in nishkama karma is, he talks about swadharmam. What does swadharmam means? You are born as a human. First part of swadharmam is the humanity in yourself. And the second part is, who are you? For example, if I take my example, first of all, I am a daughter to somebody. Okay, I'm a sibling to somebody. I am a wife to somebody. I am a mother to somebody. I am a mother-in-law to somebody. So, when you are so and so, when it is the responsibility towards your parents, fulfill your responsibility towards your parents. Fulfill your responsibility towards your husband. Fulfill your responsibility towards your kids. Fulfill your responsibility towards this universe because you are a human. So, when you are doing these jobs, it is very common for us. Whenever we do something, we expect something out of it. When we are cooking or when we are eating, we want that thing to be very tasty. If it is not palatable, we don't like it, we reject that food, we get angry. All these things happen. So what Sri Krishna Paramatma tells us is, when you are doing the nishkama karma, do not expect any kind of result. When you are doing a job, you are going to come across difficulties. You are going to come across sadness. You are going to come across happiness. Be patient, have sahanam in you and accept everything as it comes. Do not react to everything. So as you learn this, I know we are talking about this, but this is something very difficult in practice. So I'm going to tell you how to get into this. How can we practice this to so that we can avoid these emotions or whatever we are facing. So he tells this trick, do not react to whatever is coming and hit you. Do not be too joyous when you get something, when something good happens to you. You accept it, you be happy, but like don't overwhelmingly celebrate or do something. And at the same time, if a difficulty hits you, don't go into too much of depression or like don't make your mind weak. So that's what he tells. So when we do the karma without any kind of expectation, when we do the nishkama karma, what happens? Why is he asking us to do this nishkama karma? So when we do not have any expectations, the magic happens here. What happens here is we are not attaching to any new karmas. We are not attaching to any new the desires, the ruchi, the involuntary or the voluntary desires, or the samskaras, whatever, we are not holding upon to any samskaras, or we are not getting any new samskaras. And the magic is whatever we are having, the older Ruchi, Vasana, Samskaras, he tells very clearly, if you can follow this type of lifestyle, even the old Ruchi, Vasana, Samskaras, Karmas, they also burn. If you can hold on to that Sahanam. Yes, we are going to get into difficulties when we are leading this life. The difficulties also come because of our karmas only. So if we can understand this and do the Nishkama Karma, he says, you are not going to get into new attachments, and even the old attachments are going to be dismissed, or they are going to disappear slowly. So have that patience in you and do the Nishkama Karma. So yes, we are doing the Nishkama Karma. Still, some of us, we have ignorance. Still, we do not have the ability to control our emotions. So here, he gives the sadhana to perform. You have to practice. To achieve something, he says you have to practice on to something, or you have to hold on to something to get rid of something and to move forward. So, what is this sadhana he's talking about? And in this sadhana, also, it should be Nishkama Karma. When you are doing sadhana, you think, oh, I want to have control over emotions. I want to go forward in my soul purpose. And if you sit and do the sadhana, or if you think I am doing the sadhana, I am going to have control over all this, forget about it. It's not going to go anywhere. And on the other hand, these indriyas and this mind are going to get into you, and they're going to take control of you. So what is the way? How is the way? How should I do this sadhana? What he tells is, first of all, learn about the tattvam. There is some supernatural power which is governing this entire universe. Try to know about him. Try to know about yourself. Yourself means try to know about the body, and try to know about the soul which is inside, and also try to know about the Paramatma who is inside and who is letting us do everything what we are doing. So how do you do this? How do you learn? This is called the Tattvam. So how do you know about this Tattvam, or how do you learn this Tattvam? The first thing what we have to realize is we cannot do anything by ourselves. Only with his blessings, only we can go forward in this practice. So seek his blessings. With your blessings only, I am doing this. I am able to do this. You are allowing me to do this. So when you start doing this, when you start thinking about him and letting go on to him, what is happening exactly here? We have to realize that we are not attaching to anything when we are doing something. We are letting go everything on to him. Even though we are doing the sadhana, we are doing the practice, we are not getting the attachment of doing the sadhana here. We are giving that attachment to him. Let him take care of us. So since we are not having that attachment, we will be able to do the sadhana positively, and it is not going to take control. This attachment is the one which takes control of you. It takes control of your mind. It takes every control is in its hand. So when we let go of this attachment, then we will be able to do things smoothly. Try this. Try this from this moment onwards. Let go onto everything onto him. When you get a negative thought into your mind, just let go onto him. Bring him into the picture and put him in there. And then you see that thought disappears. Slowly over the period of time with the practice, we start to let go on everything onto him. That way, We are not getting into the attachment. So how do we do this sadhana? He tells not only Sri Krishna Paramatma in Bhagavad Gita talks about this, even before that, we have many rishis in our history, like, who have talked about this tattvam. And we always hear about this rishi called the Yajnavalkya Maharshi, who was in the period of Sri Rama. He was actually the Acharya for Janaka Chakravarti, the father of Sita Devi. So he used to teach, Janaka Chakravarti used to gain the knowledge of Atmajnanam. Atmajnanam means who learns about the tattvam. That means there is somebody called Paramatma, there is something called soul, and this soul is given a body, and this body is here to do all the karmas, or to get rid of the karmas, or to get new karmas. So whoever learns, this kind of knowledge, they are called Panda. Panditudu means the one who learns or who gains this knowledge is called a Panditudu, whoever it may be, So Janaka Chakravarti used to gain this Atma Jnanam from Yajnavalkya Maharshi. So Yajnavalkya Maharshi gave, a 3-step process to do this sadhana. What is the 3-step process? The first is the Shravanam. Listen to the tattvam, listen to your gurus, listen. And then, we listen, like we listen to our acharyas or our two gurus or any session. We listen for half hour. And usually what we do is, after that half hour, most of us, what we do is, that half hour session is left there only, and we start in our life. We start with we continue with our life, whatever we are doing. We do not apply what we have listened in our life. So what Yajnavalkya Maharshi or Sri Krishna Paramatma in Bhagavad Gita or Goda Devi in Tirupavai, they all give the same rule of thumb. First, listen. Then, repeat that. Mananam. What did I hear? What did I listen to? What were they talking? What am I supposed to do? How this, whatever I have listened, how should I implement it? So once you start to do that mananam, actually, like, whoever is like keenly interested, or I can say who has his blessings, this is a continuous process which goes in them. Whatever they listen, they reiterate, and they apply in their life. It's not that just listen, leave it, and go with your life. No, whatever you listen, you apply. Once you start to apply, this is a very slow process. Once you start to apply, it starts entering our, each and every cell of our body. Once it starts to enter into us, it becomes, they call it as nididhyasitvam, means it becomes steady. If like anything comes into us, nothing disturbs us. So this is the sadhana we have to do. Listen, apply. So in that process, this is not going to be a quick process. You're going to listen and you apply, everything happens, or you are getting that steady state. No, this is a process. You go through life situations. He tests you in many different ways, or your karmas come into existence, karmas come into picture. You have to hold on to those, and you still have to practice this. Go on. So you think, you start to practice this, and you think, oh, now nothing can disturb me. My mind is so stable. But once, especially who are living in US, once you go to India, once you see the situation there, everything comes to the beginning. You are in the beginning state where you started. Nothing has changed. You realize that. Again, nothing wrong. See, when we want to reach a destination, suppose you want to walk 5 kilometers. You have walked 1 kilometer and you got tired. You stop there. So do you like stop going forward? No, you take rest and you go forward. If you look back, you have already walked that 1 mile or 1 kilometer. You don't have to re-walk that. You have come to a certain state where you have to go forward. So don't get disappointed that, you know, things are disturbing you. You're getting angry. You're getting emotional. No worries. Keep doing this sadhana again and again. Again, listen. Again, apply. Again, situations come. You react. That's okay. Keep doing this sadhana like this sadhana goes on the entire life, actually. So what happens when we do this sadhana? Slowly we stop reacting. We stop, getting into emotions. Like, for example, imagine you are in, uh, Tirumala queue line. There are like so many devotees around you. And you know that pushing, how they push, how you are pushed and everything. So when you are in the beginning states of this sadhana, how it is, somebody pushes you. You get angry, but you remember that you are in this sadhana and you realize, okay, I need to have patience. Okay, let me be patient. I should not get angry. That is the first state. Okay, you go a little forward. Again, in the sadhana, you go a little forward and you encounter the same situation. If somebody pushes you, in that case, you think, that's okay. He's just, he's a fellow devotee or he's my friend. That's okay if he pushed. Okay. This is the next step in the sadhana. And further going, you will realize you are in the same situation and somebody has pushed you from outside. You may feel that push from outside, but inside within you, you may not be disturbed. You may think, this is my karma. I am being pushed. So I have to, go through this, whatever I'm facing. So this is the third stage. In the fourth step of the sadhana, even if anybody pushes you, anybody hits you, your mind becomes so stable that it is not at all disturbed. There is no emotion. Forget about anger. The inside of you is not reacting. This is where we should be able to reach. So for this, some of us, we may not be disturbed by our surroundings. Some of them, they can take everything so well and go on. That is perfect. But for some of us, we cannot take everything. We cannot tolerate or we cannot handle all the things happening to us. When a turtle is walking, if it finds a threat, it withdraws all its body parts into itself. So we can also do the same thing. In the beginning stages, we can keep away from all these disturbances which are disturbing us in this sadhana. But we come to a state where nothing really disturbs. Nobody disturbs you. Whatever nonsense they do, you just watch them and keep going. So if we can, that is actually the state what Sri Krishna Paramatma talks about, sthita prajnata. If any human, if they can get into that state, that is the state he talks about. That is where the Atma Sakshatkaram happens. That means you are in the senses where you realize you are a soul. You have this body to do the job, to do the Nitya Karma, and you just keep on going on from there. So, this is the practice he talks about to control. Actually, this applies to any of the arishadvargas. We today I have talked specially about this because anger is something which we cannot control. We show it to other people. We talk harsh to other people. We hurt their feelings, or the most important point what we miss is when we are angry and when we show the emotion of anger. I don't know how many of us realize, but if you can look into it, actually it is hurting oneself. That anger hurts ourselves. So, whatever, wherever, whichever part of the body we are holding on that anger, slowly a disorder or a disease manifests in that part. We do not realize that. We keep on getting angry, shouting, all that, but we do not realize that it is hurting us only. So when we start to realize that it is going to hurt us or it is going to hurt anybody else, if we can practice these things, keeping ourselves calm, keeping our environment clean, doing the nishkama karma or doing the sadhana, all these things, if we can practice in our day-to-day life, if we can get control over these senses, the indriyas, then uh, slowly we can control the arishadvargas. So the most important point is, don't think that we are doing it. He is the one who is giving us this energy to do it. So let go everything to him. Even this sadhana when we are doing, it is very important to let go on to him so that we are not getting attachment to this sadhana also. So he is the one who is allowing me to listen. With his blessings only, I'm able to listen to this part. With his blessings only, I'm able to do the mananam. With this blessings only, the nididhyasitvam is happening in me. It is staying in me. It is being steady in me. If we can lead our life like this, slowly we can get into our path. And that is the session today, friends.
Thank you.
Any
Nice.
questions?
Yeah, you can ask question and answers, at least couple anyone has, because so many people listen to the session. So I hope you heard it with concentration.
Shankar garu?
Namaskaram, ma'am.
Namaste.
This is Shankar Prasad. Currently, I'm under BTech graduation, ma'am. BTech final year. I'm in BTech final year. Uh, ma'am, generally, I'm talking with my batchmates or my colleagues or with everyone. Uh, very nominally, I will speak, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah,
Maximum
yeah.
time. But
Okay.
sometimes the things which I cannot handle the things. Means I will shout upon them. Means I will do this unnecessary things. Sometimes it randomly it happens, ma'am. Why it is happening also I also don't know. Later I will regret and I will feel means pashtatapam, like I am feeling
Yeah.
regretting means why I did, and it is hurting me more, means more than how I hurted them. I don't know. More than
Yeah.
that, I am hurting myself.
Yes.
I'm feeling very regretted, and it is taking 2 3 days to come out from that situation, which
Yes.
I did myself.
Yes.
I faced lots of time, ma'am. I have faced lots of time. Then due to of that, I postponed my work. I kept aside everything, and I'm nonsense. I'm doing watching
Yeah.
that motivation videos, and I'm getting motivation. I'm seeking for the motivation. Who I am giving motivation to others, but I am seeking for the motivation at that moment.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
Many times it happened, ma'am. Even in college, I am the placement coordinator in the student placement coordinator in NIT Raipur. This is happening, ma'am.
Actually, I think everybody goes through this process. At least any moment of their life, Everybody has the same situation. We do not have control over emotion. We talk something which is not necessary. Then we ponder, upon ourselves. Why did I talk that? And it keeps on bothering us and we waste our time. So all this. So whatever we talked in the class today, if we can practice, knowing about ourselves is the most important key factor. Knowing about ourselves means that we are a soul, we are given a body. Why we are given a body? What it is, the mind which is plagued. So how can I clear that mind? How can I clean the mind? So whatever steps we talk today can help you in getting rid of that problem.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Sure,
This
ma'am. I will
everybody
implement it.
goes through.
Yeah. Means every time I'm thinking, ma'am. Actually, every time I'm
That
thinking to
means,
change, I'm yeah.
yeah, you are thinking, but you're not putting any effort. Just go back,
Yes,
look
ma'am.
back, and see. There is no effort. That's what
Yes, ma'am.
is listening to it is one thing, practicing it is another thing. That is where the challenge is.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. This is the what I did blunder, ma'am. Actually, many students are saying to me this. I'm saying I'm replying to them. Hey, I already knew. I will restart the problem. Go. Yeah. Every time I'm always showing the angerness to them.
Hmm.
This is happened, ma'am. Actually, but nowadays I'm trying to overcome the situation.
Yeah.
Um, After coming to moksha, day by day, it is gradually it is coming out.
Mm.
Uh,
Actually,
Hopefully,
when you even with all this practice, when you do meditation also, what
uh,
happens with the meditation? If you do the right form of meditation, what happens is when all the chakras are balanced, the emotions are like it calms our mind. So once the mind is calm, we don't react that much. It is all mind game. If mind is the one which is telling you, shout, shout, shout. Mind is the one which is telling you, okay, stay calm, stay quiet. So it is the mind which needs to be controlled. To control that mind, you have to have the intellect, the buddhi. So a buddhi balamtoni manam, we have to control the mind which can react in the right way.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Is anyone more can ask questions? Please raise your hands if you have any. Shalinimaster, you want to like take some more questions or like you want to do meditation?
It's
Let me
up to
know.
you. Meeku time అవుతుంది meditation
I
if
am
it's
free.
time.
Yeah, I am okay. But shall we do for 2 minutes or 3 minutes for anyone has any
Yeah,
questions?
if anybody has questions, we can take. Otherwise, you can continue with the meditation. Why we are taking questions is, because these are like everyday obstacles what we face.
Yes.
When they ask questions, we can give some tips or tricks to how to practice them. That is the only reason I want to take questions. But
Yeah.
if nobody has questions, we can go forward with the meditation.
Yeah, I listened to last previous sessions too from yours, so I want to tell you a couple of things. I had practiced so much, even when I go to India also, or like anywhere. I like when chakras are balanced, I can see that I'm so calm, and people doesn't understand me like why she's so calm, and they try to asked me too many. Then I said I'm fine now, like, so my anger is almost gone, and sometimes only we'll get it, and I'm totally fine, I'm happy now. I do meditation. People ask how you're so like nice, looking great, like that, like, hey, you know what, I'm doing meditation, thank you.
Yeah.
I say that. That's a nice thing, right? So I liked it to tell them without any hesitations and do it which day means, like, you know what, do it whenever you can, or you can do group meditations and everything. So this didn't come in one day, it's like keep on practicing, only we'll get it.
Yeah.
Okay, Shalini ma'am, shall we start meditation? Shall I play the video? Or-
Yeah. Okay.
okay.
Thank you. Thank you,
No worries.
everyone. Salam Sri Krishna.
Thank you, Shalini ma'am.
Yeah.